Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey everybody, it's Drew here. How you doing?
Here we are. Lisa, how you doing? Nigel, how's things, bud?
Hey Nigel, hey Lisa, hi my darling, and I am watching from the North Pole. Well, let's just give you a laugh. I'm looking outside my window, and I got two major big lights. It looks like something really happening. UFOs, UFOs. Um, so yeah, oh, they're gone now. So, well, my wife has got the eye on it. So, come on, guys, let's shout out. Let's tell people I am live, and Jamie is too. And make sure you guys give the information out there about DTV is on. Tonight, special guest in the background is a good old friend of mine, which will pronounce his name out in a minute. And Jamie, you can pronounce his full name out. I'll pronounce his first name, okay? Guys, right, before that, we need you guys to share. I need the mods to let me know they're here. So just to make sure.
Do you want me to message on the admin chat, bro? Just to let
Yes,
them know
please.
that we're up? Yeah, okay.
We're just making sure our mods are here because we like to keep this page maintained for children. But also tonight, this is about paranormal. We have got a good guy who is a super legend, well known out there as himself. Many investigation in haunted location. And also, he is such a legend guy for what his investigation brings, what his skills is. Plus, he got a cool vest jacket, which is pretty cool. I like it. Okay, guys. We want to make sure you guys checking out DTV for tonight. Now, listen here. Before we get the entertainment on again, we have been dared to do the ice bath challenge. We're gonna book a day. We're gonna sit there. Me and Jamie is literally gonna do. I'm back, dude. Am I there?
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah. I am back doing. We've been challenged to do the ice bath challenge. So me and Jamie is actually gonna do that this week coming up to give you guys some really funny. Now, let's go. Hi, mod Rachel. Hi to all the mods who's gonna come on. Sorry, I can't stay. Someone needs my super strength. Okay, fair point. Go look for Hercules moment. Oh, okay. Come on, mods. Where are you? Mods. What do you like for Christmas presents from Father Christmas? Do you know what? I tell you the truth. I actually said I want to be Santa this year, okay? So then I can give the right presents to the good children and naughty children a pair of coal. So, and I'll give the adults something else, a better treatment, okay? Probably some need stress relief, you know. So I could be something in the bag there for them. Amen. Hey Jimmy, you're right, buddy. Okay, guys, we have got the one and only, Nick.
Muley. If that's
Okay,
said
Nick.
right.
I think it is. Nick Malay's in the backstage waiting to come on here. We're pumping with steam. You guys need to shout out as far as you can before we bring him on the stage. He's literally got 5 seconds left to come on the stage. I want you guys to share. Get sharing to get crazy to the page. DTV is back up and running. Hi, Linda, my mod. Okay, let's get this page crazy out, guys. Jamie.
Yeah, are we ready?
I dare you to drink your drink down quickly before we get him on.
I've only got Fanta here, bro. My other beers are for later.
Oh, damn, okay. All right, then. Bring him on.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Nick.
Good to
How
see
you
you
doing,
guys.
bud?
It's going good. How are you?
Right, I'm a little bit scared because your professionalism inside paranormal field and UFOs. I got two bloody flaming white big giant lights going around my sky. Might make me paranoid, so I might question that later on with you. How you feeling, bro? How you feeling? What's going down? What's happening in your world?
Not really much for the most part. I've just kind of been taking it day by day. Again, I know it's been tough with the whole COVID situation, but I'm just trying to take it easy. But for the most part, I've been reading a lot lately, a lot of different ghost stories. I've been presenting a lot of them, for people to check out. So, just still trying to celebrate the Halloween spirit in some way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree with that totally. You guys up in America do like to celebrate Halloween really strong, don't you? You guys do. You like to literally give it full out, and I think that's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Especially Salem. Salem's really good. Salem's really really cool. Which you should know about that one.
Well, it's surprising I've not been to Salem. That's been on my list for a long time. I mean, there's a lot of places I've been to, but there's a lot more that I have yet to have gone to. So, it's on my list. I can promise you that.
It's on my list too, believe it or not. It's on my list as well. I'll give you that one. I'll be coming with you. If you'll go in and you tell me, say, but next year with all this COVID-19 is done, I'll probably come down and literally come and work with you. I literally will do that. I will literally come to your city and I'll be like, yo, is there any ghosts here?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I was talking with an investigator who lives out in the state of Massachusetts a couple months ago, and they're hoping to do this next year. I think they're doing something called Salem Con or Witch Con. I can't remember exactly what the title was, but they basically offered me a vendor table at this event. So I haven't really spoken. Again, it's been tough getting together with the rest of the crew, but I've been meaning to talk about with the crew. But yeah, I've been offered a vendor table at this con for next year.
Oh, lovely. Before we get into straight to your bio, bro, I just got to read these message out. Hi, Jimmy. Hi, Drew. Hi, Nick. And hi to everyone. Chat. That's Kirsty Cole. I am a bunny popping in out. Oh, she's basically going to be popping out. Okay. Hi, Kirsty, Linda, admin. Mum's reported UFO as Birmingham Airport. They could not see the lights, but they were not able to see them on radar. Oh. What would you say?
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is, because in the case, that's the thing with a lot of UFO cases is that whenever people see, unusual objects in the sky, but the radar cannot detect it, kind of makes you wonder, what am I looking at?
Well, that's true. Yeah. What the hell are you looking at? Hi, Ingrid. I'm probably right now. I'm like freaking out because there's a lot of like lights around here, which is about 4 or 5 of them in the sky. And I'm trying to say, hey, what the heck is going on out there? But if I can imagine that someone telling me, I'll probably go crazy because the government's not listening to me and off radar. They must attack UFOs on radar. They must have.
Yeah. It's kind of ironic that we're talking about UFOs, and two of my patches have like the, like this one right here, and then the I want to believe patch. So it's kind of a perfect timing, I have to admit.
Well, my saying is, and this has come from Dawn Cummins, a friend of mine. She said, we got COVID-19, that was said. What's next? UFO? Well, I think bloody UFOs are definitely coming.
Yeah. You're telling me, yeah.
So, Jamie, can you read out Nick's bio to people so people can hear what Nick has actually done in his experience? And that is really good because you don't call a person experience, but you're learning as an experience. True, Nick? So
absolutely.
Every investigation we do is an experience. So say if I done a haunted prison, I actually done an investigation in a haunted prison. That gives me a bit of experience, and I'll constantly keep going there like a castle. So yeah, go ahead, Jamie.
Do you want me to put it in the comments on you, or do you want me to read it out?
Read out and then put it in the comments.
Yeah, no props. All right.
Cool.
Okay, so Nick Muley has been a paranormal investigator for 15 years since he was the age of 12. He's investigated numerous haunted locations, including Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, Hull House, Rossville Opera House, Crown Point Jail, Mansfield Reformatory, Helltown, Ohio, Mineral Springs Hotel, Alton Prison, Lemp Mansion, Ashmore Estates, Roth House, Joliet Prison, Sim Smith Covered Bridge, Stanley Hotel, St. Louis Cemetery, and a Hotel del Corrado, to the name a few. He's also investigated cryptids, including Bigfoots up in central Illinois, the Beast of Bray Road in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, I think that's right, the Mothman in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, Bessie of Lake Erie, and the Melon Heads of Kirtland, Ohio. Nick has been a member of the Midnight Paranormal Society, MPS, since 2011. Nick formed his own paranormal... Oh my God, I hate that. Nick formed his own paranormal group in 2018 called the Illinois Paranormal Force, IPF, which has connections to several smaller paranormal, UFO, cryptid, and history groups that work and investigate together.
Holy God. How the hell did... Good job. Now, Jamie, can you pin that up on the section what his bio is? Can you pin it on the wall, please, buddy? In the StreamYard, so then people can read after. Okay, so that is amazing. That is so sick. Now, a lot of people, if you've got questions, please ask Nick some questions if you want to, okay, guys? And this is what Lisa said about early on. What the question was, she was still on the phone until they had two lights following each side of the plane. As the plane landed, they shot off. That is totally true, because this is what we're having, and Nick just seen it, and Jamie just saw it with their own eyes. We got two lights, and we had about 4 or 5 lights literally going close together. There's no road on top of this mountain. There's nothing except for a tenant and an airport right behind. And we can't even hear the helicopters, and we usually hear them pretty well. But yes, we're not going to go into my stuff. Now, dude, you actually investigated the Waverly Hills.
Indeed, that was actually my very first full night investigation. That was actually now 10 years ago, back when I was 17 years old. And I remember how excited I was that we got to have the opportunity of going to Waverly. And I'll tell you guys right now, I mean, that is a place for the last 10 years I've been trying to get back to. So I still see it as one of my all-time favorite locations. If you guys haven't been there, you guys got to check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Totally go and check it out. So, what type of heavy experience have you had on that area the first time? Can you remember? Can you tell us more about it? Can you give us a bit more?
Yeah. So we had to wait till, first off, we had to wait till 11 o'clock to actually be allowed into the building. But the first floor that we went up to with one of the guides we went up to the 4th floor, which a lot of people, I mean, the entire building is active, but they say the 4th floor is the most active area. So we go to the 4th floor, and I actually filmed a lot of this with an old 20-year-old VHS camera. We got a lot of it on tape too. And at one point, the guy that was with us said, it's best if you have the lights turned off for this. So we turned off our flashlights, and just maybe about a minute or two after we turned them off, we started seeing all this movement going on down the hallways. And next thing you know, I'm starting to see not one, but several, shadow figures going in different directions. They kind of had like a black, solid, kind of like partial misty appearance. And these were they were going all different directions. Some of them were going to the right, some were going to the left, some were coming towards us, others were going away from us. And in the tape, you could hear me gasp, but it wasn't a gasp of fright. It was actually a gasp of excitement because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And this went on for well over it had to have gone on for at least a good 5 minutes. It was incredible. So, and of course that wasn't even, there was more to come, but that was like a good start for the investigation at Waverly.
It must have been. It must have been a very good start with that. And obviously, what did you have like normal equipment with you? Did you have like your normal standard equipment, or did you?
Well, in addition to the camera that we had, which fortunately, despite it being a 20-year-old camera, it had night vision on it. But considering I was only 17, I only had a few of the tools compared to like what I have now. I mean, back then I had I had my EMF meter, dowsing rods, crystal, pendulum, EVP digital recorder, and of course, and I do a lot of history, you know, involving these places. So I also would have like basically a history document on and photographs of Waverly back in its operating days. So every time we went to a particular spot in the hotel, I would stop for maybe a minute or two, take out the pamphlet, and then just start reading it. So, you know, didn't have as many tools as I do now, but they were definitely very effective, along with a picture camera. I almost forgot.
I get. Okay, so Jamie, have you got any questions to ask him as well, buddy?
Yeah. So, what's been your most scariest experience?
Well, my scariest experience, it wasn't actually at a one of these public locations. It was actually, see, I haven't really done a lot of residential cases. I've only been involved in 3 of them, pretty much once again in the last, 4 of them in the last probably about almost 10 years now too. It was right around the time I was joining MPS, but it was 3 years ago when we had our third residential house. We had a family said that they were having problems going on in their house. And we only ended up visiting that house twice. We've not heard from this family since. But the second time that we were there, it just seemed like it got a lot worse. And what I'm about to say next, we were supposed to be doing a blessing of the property. Unfortunately, that went kind of awry. So what I'm about to say next is, you know, people may find this a little bit hard to believe, but I was a witness to it. But they actually performed an exorcism on one of the kids. Well, not really a kid. He was about 20 years old at least, but it was definitely a really frightening experience because it wasn't even just exactly what was happening. It was the realization that this was starting to become a dangerous situation. So, you know, I really wanted to do something to stop it because none of us were priests, ministers, exorcists. Like I even remember at the time thinking, you know, this we can't be doing this. You know, we're not authorized to do something like this. But, you know, we eventually things kind of did calm down, but then the family said it started up again, and we have not heard from that family since. I'm actually writing a short story about it. Of course, names are going to be changed. There was even one person who tried to even offer to make a film out of it, but I wasn't really quite, you know, crazy on the idea.
Yeah.
I can't blame you. Okay, so now, if I look back on this, is it the Haunted Hills or the Haunted House? Give me a minute. I saw something early on. Give me a minute. I was just reading it back here. So I gotta remember everything you've done now. So I gotta read your bio. I hear the Haunted House got mentioned. So is it the Hill House? The Hill House.
Whole House, I think.
The Whole House. That's the one. The Whole House. What was that like for an experience, and how would you know when stuff was kicking off? Or did you have a bunch of you? Did you do it all by yourself? Did you go in like a battle of warrior of paranormal field, as I say? Anyone goes in by themselves, they got, you know, battle of warrior. That's what I call it, because you're basically handing something. But yeah.
Well, Whole House in Chicago. First off, I just want to say it's actually part of the campus of University of Chicago, and they've never really allowed people inside the building because it's actually a museum nowadays. It was owned by Jane Addams when it was first built back in the I think it was the 1880s. I think around 1888. I think it was built, but we were allowed to investigate the outside of the building. We actually got we were actually able to talk with a security guard. He got to let us investigate, and we were only going to be there for an hour anyway. But we definitely had we had the what is it called? I think we had the spirit box, we had a crystal, and of course, what I was actually doing, we were trying to make our own series that was going to be called Paranormal Travels, and Whole House. We were going to start locally first in Chicago, so Whole House was one of those locations. Now, at one point, we didn't see this, of course, when it happened. When we reviewed the footage, I was holding the camera. There was only three of us that investigated. One of them was off to another side of the building, and then I started walking behind one of the other guys, and then very briefly, I'm still trying to make sure that this is not me that walked by, but in the window we saw this. I could see a brief silhouette shape of a man going just very briefly to the right, and the first time we watched it, we're like, wait a second, did anybody else see that? And we're still trying to figure out if this was something that actually walked in front of us, or if it just happened to be me walking through. So we're still trying to figure that out. But if my reports are correct, we were at the right place at the right time to capture that.
Nice.
That is nice. That is true. That is totally, man. You know, me doing paranormal investigation for a little bit long time. I've been doing it for now. Oh my, 28 or 29. I'm still forgetting my own age, and people complained about this because I forgot my own age. I'm shopping. So I'm 28 years old, Karen, and I've been investigating a long time, and I have had major ups and downs in the field. But we all do. Every one of us would do, no matter what.
Spirits yeah. I mean, that's well expected.
It is. Spirits is hard in the paranormal field to, get what you want. Or we got skeptics. It's good. I like skeptics because skeptics make me work a little bit longer. So they make me work really, really hard, really well. Now, as you know, you've been doing this for 15 years, as it says in your bio. Now,
right. If I could just add, I'm just a year younger. I'm 27.
That's okay. That's okay. It doesn't matter how long, but it's something you created, something you enjoy, something you made. It's weirdly, most people actually, I know a few people do this as a business, and most of it is as a hobby, and mostly it all goes upside down because they get a bit too much addicted into that area line. So in your line, Karen, you started off from being a very young boy. What made you possess into that line? What made you think, hey, I want to catch some ghosts, and I want to, literally, because you must have had a vibe from a movie, or you just really started seeing stuff, and then you're like, you're putting your mind to it, because you, not being honest, you got a bit of autism going on there. So is it that part of the mind playing like, I want to prove a point to myself and to others, or just mainly to yourself, And that's what I want to question about. I always want to question one about that, but that is the question I'm asking.
Well, unlike for most investigators, I mean, see, when you ask investigators what makes want them to be part of it, usually it's because of experiences that they may have had when they were kids. That wasn't the case for me. It was when I was very young, back in the mid to late 90s. I don't know exactly what it was, but of course, this was being the 90s. The X-Files was playing on television at that time. So, and to this day, I'm still surprised my parents got to let us watch that, at a very young age, because there were some pretty scary episodes and graphic ones too. But that was kind of but that was like one of the shows that everybody watched in those days. So, I didn't really think much into it. But then as I continued growing older, right around the same time, I would say about 2000. No, well, by the time I was about 6 or 7, I was already starting to become a huge fan of horror films. I was starting to watch a lot of them, and I think what made me eventually want to be part of something like this was, I guess, the reaction maybe like you feel in horror films, like the adrenaline you get. Like they always say, that gives you like a roller coaster kind of feeling. So then probably about 2000, 2001, I also happened to come across the show. I don't know if you guys remember the show Scariest Places on Earth with Linda Blair, Zelda Rubinstein. You guys remember that one?
It rings a bell.
Well, fortunately, they have a number of episodes on YouTube. It has not run on television now for probably about 10 years, but the show actually ended about almost 20 years ago now. But it was another show that got me. It was really the first show that I watched that had to do with paranormal investigations. And while I didn't really believe in it at first, it was just something that I just felt like this was I think out of everything, this was the one show where I was like, oh man, I want to try to be a part of something like that, when I get older.
Yeah,
Just that. It was basically our Halloween show that we would watch every October at the time. But now, like I said, I've been doing it now since I was 12. By the time that I reached 12 years old, I happened to go through the channels one day, and I came across this other show. This was on the Travel Channel. This was before Ghost Adventures kind of took over the channel. Was Most Haunted, and that grabbed my attention and me like, oh, what's this all about? And this was again another big first timer because this was an actual group. Scariest Places on Earth was really more families being sent into these locations, or other groups of college kids. This was like my first one that had a real group attached to it. And I think probably from that day forward, I began studying history and the paranormal from that day forward.
Oh, that's actually a flippin' amazing. That's actually a flippin' amazing intel. Actually, that's really interesting because most of them do go off by film. I just need to say something very quickly. Hi, Longhorn Paranormal. I am doing fine. Getting back up on my feet. I call them my army boys, like Longhorn Paranormal. My army boys here, but also this is Longhorn Paranormal's good friend of mine. She's ex-army, and yeah, I'm doing fine. We haven't spoke for a while, so we do need to chat one day. Dude, so what made you decide to buy your jacket then? What got you to create your jacket? Because everyone's going to ask the question, when can we see this jacket? Or, like, they're going to probably ask that question in a minute. You probably get asked, like, a lot of questions about the way you are with your style, and they probably like how your jacket is created. Can you just show people your jacket as well, if that's okay?
Oh yeah, of course. Well, just before I show it, show the full thing. And it's funny, I always get this question almost every show, so I'm not surprised. The idea actually came from. I always admired. I wasn't hugely a big fan, but I always looked up at a lot of like motorcycle clubs, like even the outlaw ones, like the Hells Angels, Outlaws, Mongols, Pagans, Banditos, Vagos. You keep going on. All those clubs you can think of, and I know they're not really the most perfect, groups to hang around with, but the one thing that I always admired was their patches that they had. The way how they designed them, how colorful they were, and I thought to myself at one point, saying, what, no one's ever made like a paranormal style vest or patch before. So I went up online and I started looking up. I typed in paranormal patches, and although I found a few other ones from Amazon and eBay, the majority of these ones were actually from a website called Monsterologist, and they had all these different paranormal encrypted and alien patches and stuff like that. And
yeah.
I just thought, right, bingo. So I started putting it together, and then I also added rockers, which those were created, separately, which says Paranormal Investigator. So, but yeah, that's the story of it.
It's actually a really lush jacket, man. We got Texas Crew. We got an Amazon gig. Hi guys, that's some good news as well. Mary J. Is it Milson?
Oh, Mary J. Williamson. How you doing, Mary? Yeah. From the
Hi,
Netherlands.
Mary. How are you? It's nice to see you guys. If you guys just coming to follow and like DTV, make sure you follow us on YouTube and Twitch. We are there, but Twitch is called The Killer Something Grim because it's a gaming page. But make sure you follow the YouTube page. It's called DTV. And make sure you're following Nick's page, which he's about to post, is give us his what's the word? Your link. Your link. We need your link so we can put it in the thing. And make sure you follow us by spiritual Jamie, your page, man. Sorry, your page. Make sure.
Here we are, Kilogram Hunter.
Yeah, just make sure as well you follow Jimmy as well on his page, Deaf Paranormal Research. Guys, if you're coming to join us, welcome to DTV Army Boys. Now, or Army Girls. And we usually have a lot of females, so Army Girls it is. Sometimes. But guys, welcome to DTV. We got Nick here, brilliant paranormal investigator, 15 years of experience. And he's got a lovely bio, what investigation's done, which is all over the page. You guys need to come follow us and come watch it. If you do miss half of it, please watch the replay, as we got so much coming entertainment. Nick, I'm sorry, I will come back with you now, buddy, okay? I'll make sure on that, buddy, okay?
No problem at all.
We got someone in the chat saying hi to you already, buddy.
Oh, it's Crystal Davis Kohler. I was just on I was actually on another show a few days ago with her about maybe 3 nights ago on the show called 13th Dimension. I'm actually supposed to come back on at some point to talk about the Mothman.
Oh, the Mothman?
Yeah.
Legend. I've heard so many things about the Mothman. I can't wait to hear that. I'll be checking that out. I'll be checking that out, Nick.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
So, guys, DTV is doing a lot of challenges. Des, we got the frozen bath to do. Me and Jamie's just been dead. We had a phone call. We've just been dead to do the frozen bath. So that's what we're going to do. Me and Jamie's going to do that this week. We also got the chip challenge, the most hottest chili chip ever going. And it's pretty hot. It could actually legally blind Jamie or put you in hospital. So, yeah, we're putting our lives at risk for DTV. Not for anything, for DTV. We're doing this all for you guys to have entertainment under the COVID-19 lockdown, even after the COVID-19 lockdown. Pooh Jamie is doing a lot of dares because I can't eat chilies because I got other medical problems, which I've been advised to not to do. But I can do different dares, which I'll be doing. Jamie's just got to work out what type of dares I got to do. So, but we got to get the ball on rolling somewhere, innit, dude? Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Nick. The first ever game is going to be created by us as well, which you might join in a little bit later on.
I'm always up for games. I'm always looking for something fun to do.
So I'll explain what the new game is, but dude, let's have a bit of more chat about your experience with the paranormal field. So, have you met anyone who's okay? So we say this word, and please don't take advantage of it. But famous. Have you ever met the word someone famous in the paranormal field? Just because you like to learn the experience or listen to them what they got to say. Have you ever met anyone like famous?
That's a really good question. I'll be honest with you. I've met a lot of, big famous faces. I mean, not like huge personalities, like on television, but the closest I could think of that, someone famous, it's not actually someone who, was heavily involved in the paranormal field, but it was 5 years ago. We were investigating a school called Carl Schurz High School, and we were told that we were going to be bringing some special guests in, and those guests were revealed to be. See, I'm a huge fan. Well, sadly, I haven't been able to watch it now the last couple seasons because it's kind of been going downhill. But I was a huge fan of the series The Walking Dead. And we do a Walker Stalker Con here in Chicago. Of course, it's been canceled because of COVID. But we were told that some of the cast from The Walking Dead was going to be part of our investigation. However, as in the case when it comes to stuff like this, most of them weren't able to show up. But we did have Chandler Riggs, who played Carl in The Walking Dead. He was able to show up. And I'll be honest, I was actually really nervous because being the historian, I had to go up front to read the history about it. But afterwards, I started regaining my composure. I was able to read it well. and we brought him, it was him and some of the other crew members. We split into different groups, and as I recall, I mean, I didn't see him too much because he was with another group, but I don't think he was disappointed in what we were experiencing. So that was quite an exciting. So and he wasn't the only one from that show that I've met. I've also met Stephen Ewan, and I've also met Santiago Cirillo, who was one of the extras in The Walking Dead. So I've met a couple of them from the show.
Oh, that is amazing from actually Walking Dead. I feel sorry for Walking Dead because it have actually kind of sadly dropped.
That's
for what
I
it
haven't
was.
been able to watch it. I haven't really been able to watch it, as recent. I mean, the last one I saw was I think it was probably about 3 years ago, I think now. So it's been quite a while since I've seen the show.
Well, what about my favorite type of show was Supernatural. Supernatural all the way, man. It's because they kind of like us, but they're paranormal investigators, just acting things out. But in Supernatural, they kind of like it's kind of like, what can I say? Supernatural kept it real. It kept it real about the evidence. They kept it real what they think about demons. They kept it real about like what type of equipments we use in the paranormal field. And this is the way I tell people: if you want to learn something about it, watch a bit of Supernatural, but take away the actors and learn about what they're actually saying, because what they're actually saying, some of it are based on true things. And people say, no, it's not. It's crazy. That's crazy. It's not. And I'm thinking, you don't get it, do you? You're not getting the clue inside the stories, how it's working. So Supernatural's class on now, I gotta admit. And Walking Dead is amazing to have on your show, on your doing the investigation. Some of the crew, it's not bad. You had someone though.
One's better than nothing, so that's for sure. But surprising, I haven't really watched a lot of Supernatural like I should be. I mean, it's kind of been somewhat difficult to watch TV lately, because it's not to get too much. A lot of my family watches like CNN, all the political stuff. I'm just ready to just watch some horror stuff, especially during this time of the season. So I've been trying to get into Supernatural though. So it's never too late.
Never too late. Wow. Chris from the Warren File, absolutely brilliant guy. I tell you. Have you spoken to Chris yet from the Warren File, the grandson of Lorraine and Ed Warren?
Well, I have not, but I've been fortunate enough. I actually did have the chance to meet Lorraine Warren back in 2009. And we do a type of con that's called the Chicago Ghost Conference. I mean, when we started doing that back in 2007, and before that used to be just a once every 2 year event. But nowadays we've been doing this special event almost every October. Once again though, we were supposed to do it this year, but it's been canceled because of COVID. But this was our second annual one that we had in 2009, and Lorraine Warren was scheduled to be there. And it was so weird, just as I recall, at only 16 years old back then, it was at the Chicago Theater, and I was expecting she was going to be, having a booth table. There was going to be a lot of people that were going to go see, because they were already huge even before like the Conjuring movies were ever made. No, she just popped out of nowhere, with a bag of popcorn, and then just sat right in front of us. And I had the opportunity. She did speak. She was scheduled to appear, and I wish these iPhones were so much more available back then. I probably would have filmed it live on Facebook for everybody to check out. We didn't have that back then. So, but I did manage to talk to her for a couple minutes, and she's still to this day, as I would say, one of the sweetest ladies I've ever met. I mean, it's sad that she passed away, I was thinking it was about 2-3 years ago now that she passed away. No, about 2 years ago, I think.
I think it was about a year ago, not 2 years ago.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was a year ago. You're right. You're right. 2019. Now I remember. Yeah, she was fantastic. So it was definitely a great privilege to actually meet her.
It's a great privilege working with her grandson. Like when I say working, I send most of my people their way now as well. To Chris, the Warren Files. Tony's a brilliant guy.
Oh, I'm friends with him too. I'm friends with him along with John Zappis. So, and John
Zappis as well.
Yeah, I've actually seen John Zappis a couple of times too. He actually came to one of the colleges I was going to, Harvard Community College. I think it was 2000. I believe it was 2012 or 13. So, and we actually had him as a guest for the 2013 Chicago Ghost Con. So another great guy.
How is he doing? Because last time I spoke, he was actually full up to work. So how was he doing there when you saw him and spoke to him? Is he still looking handsome as ever?
Yeah, he's still doing well. I know, and of course, he also, even though he's always serious when he's on a lot of these shows. When you actually meet him, I mean, he still remains serious, but at times he does have a pretty good sense of humor. So not
He's
only
usually
interesting,
funny.
but yeah, he's not only just serious and interesting, but he's a great and fun guy to be around with. So
Totally.
yeah, as far as I know, he's doing well.
Totally. I've met some really good popular ones. First of all, I just need to read his message quickly. Thank you for saying that, Drew. I'm glad you're back. I'm always back. I'm always here to make you guys have fun and keep entertainment into the boxing style of every single way. It's all about fun, guys. I want to make sure you guys enjoying your show. I want to make sure you're enjoying it. You are all awesome. Thank you very much. You allow stuff this lovely. Thank you. Who I love listening to. Wow. Thank you for listening. Can we get what's that say then?
Can we get political in this podcast?
Oh boy.
What type of political though?
Yeah, I'm not.
That's what I thought. But do you know what, Nick? I just want to ask you a quick question. Obviously, being a paranormal investigator myself, I don't know whether Drew has told you that, but I'm just interested really to see what kind of equipment that you use during your investigations.
Yeah, so I mean, while I do have a lot of the typical type of equipment, as well as some of this more recent equipment that's come out, the type of equipment I use for the most part is, and you see it a lot in my live videos. I mean, although I use the Ghost Box, I use the REM Pod. The tools I prefer to use the most are a lot of the old-fashioned tools. Like I use dowsing rods, crystals, pendulums, and I think the reason why those, and of course, again, a digital recorder. But I think the reason why I use those three in particular is, if you look at the history of some of these tools that we've been using, some of them have only been around for about 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. When you look at some of these other, devices, those have been used forever, if not for centuries. That was almost like your best way of communicating with spirits. And while some of the modern day tools are somewhat accurate, the older tools, I think, are so much more accurate because, if you're talking with someone who may have died over 100 years ago, for example, we did not have all these tools, back then. So the dowsing rods, crystals, and pendulums is probably their best way of communication with you.
Yeah. So, if you had to choose between two things for a paranormal investigation, one being a pendulum and a pendulum board or a Ouija board, I know I would go with the pendulum board myself, but I'm just skeptical as to what you would actually prefer to use.
Well, I never really have used. See, we do have an Ouija board, and I know some people say it's safe to use. Others say it's safe. I mean, it's not. I just kind of been putting it to the side. I just haven't really used it very often. I think for me, it would just be the pendulum itself. I've never done a pendulum board. That's kind of interesting to hear. So that's I don't really hear that very often.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome, to be fair. So
I probably, if I was to choose like a normal Ouija board or a pendulum board, I'd probably choose the pendulum board.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you the pendulum board now because I have got one. I've shown Drew, but just so you can get an idea of what it looks like.
I'm just trying to think of what's pendulum mean because I never hear that word.
Oh wow, that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's so obviously you just hold it down really, and you know how it works. Then just hold the pendulum over the top and just wait for it to, start working with you. Really.
Yeah, it's kind of like a circular version of the Ouija board.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's interesting.
It is. I've only used it once. I need to use it some more because myself, I would like to find out more. You know what it's like when you buy something new. You're very excited to try it out. You just want to get going with it and do your thing.
That's the case with something similar like that with a tool I have. I can't remember. I don't know why I can't remember what it's called, but supposedly it's used for communication. Like it's a type of device that has like two buttons, has a like a green light with a Y on it, which is obviously yes, red light with an N for no, and supposedly this thing could actually answer questions for you, and it was actually pretty expensive, almost about $95. So I still decided to give it a try anyway, and so far it hasn't really worked. But then again, maybe it's because I just haven't been on a lot of investigations lately. So I'm still trying to give it. I'm still trying to give it another chance before I say, okay, this actually works or this doesn't work, and I waste my money on it. So we'll see. I'm still waiting. I'm still going to give it another chance.
Yeah, why not?
Yep.
So what's your next aim for the future now for you as an investigator? With the COVID-19 whole situation going on, where's the next aim for you if it was gone by now or gone by next year? What is your plan now for the future, near future? Because you are a pretty good investigator. You are pretty good on the shows as well. So what's your major big plan?
Well, as far as I know, considering that I've also been going to a lot of these, not only just these sites, but also a lot of paranormal conventions, festivals, conferences. And originally this was going to be the year to start doing this, but again with COVID, it kind of closed all out. But my crew and I, when we started doing a lot of these con appearances, we started we usually, once, kind of again typical of what a lot of people do, we kind of only start out in the local areas, and we started in, oh God, it's Tom Nally, I see him. I know him. He's from Philadelphia. We always cause trouble to each other.
That's okay. That's okay. Tom, if you want to come on, just give my box a message and we'll bring you on.
No, he's great. He's funny. So, but anyways, we started off locally, and then by about 3 years ago, we started expanding to the rest of Illinois, and now this was really going to be the year that we were going to start expanding to more locations, more conferences. Like I said, we had a request. I mean, in addition to what I said earlier about Salem, Massachusetts, I've been offered to go to other events and cons. There was one out in Virginia. There was another one down in Southern Illinois and in Indiana. So we've been getting requests for us to, even if we don't have a vendor table, just to show up. And I also recently, one of the events in particular we were supposed to do actually back in August was going to be at Ashmore Estates. It was going to be called Autism Awareness at Ashmore Estates. And considering as we talked that I got autism, I had one of my Iowa paranormal friends who was going to be participating in this asked if I wanted to become a speaker for this event. I've never really been an independent speaker myself before, but regardless, I immediately jumped to the chance. So, that would have been almost like my next level. Again, as far as I know, it hasn't been canceled. It's been postponed to next year, but I do not know when. So there's a number. So in other words, we're basically just trying to expand more often.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's many more expanded in the future then. And anything and more future towards rising. Question is, now a lot of people like to question their mind and everything else. Do you think paranormal is part of a psychosis behavior, or not a psychosis, a psychological thing, or is it just part of our fear inside us, or is it just normal for people to actually have a lot of different experience? But do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's a combination at times, for a few of us, because it could be some type of psychosis. It very, because I've heard of a lot of cases where some people think it's from something that may have occurred to them, like when they were kids, as we hear a lot of times. It could be based on the fear. I don't have really a straight answer for it, but there are different answers I can come up with for something like that. It's even believed. I was actually on a show last year where I was involved with this. They say how does the does the paranormal play a role, or does it affect those who have autism or Asperger's? Because, for me, it got me drawn into it. So does it have some kind of effect? Excuse me. Does it have some kind of effect? I'm not sure, but it's definitely possible.
Which is okay. That's a good question I'm giving you.
Yeah.
So I done a lot of like myself researching on like how our brains work and how people work, and usually they just get drawn in because it gets them out, and it helps their anxiety and depression line in, and that's what I usually put things down to. But the way I explain it to people is like, I was dealing with one case. You ready for this, dude? I was dealing with this one case, and he was scared of clowns, but he wasn't scared of the field, of the paranormal field. So it made me think, did that clown actually give him something to actually feel fear about? Because the Annabelle doll had an attachment, not inside it, but the side of it. That's where the attachment was. It was by the side of it. It wasn't actually really chat to the doll. It was just more like the Annabelle type of situation. And I always say this to people, it's something in their past always helps their brain to make them get into something. Even when they got scared of it, they always have something in their mind to get them going once they hit that certain age level, really, isn't it?
That's what I've noticed a lot too. It's like, you've got like a particular. I have to bring this up when you mentioned about clowns. I just couldn't help but think of Zach Bagans with his fear of clowns and dolls, and he could do the feel like they went to the clown hotel.
I felt sorry. I felt sorry for. I really do felt sorry for Zach though if he's scared of clowns. I think he is.
Yeah.
But
Is
I
he
worked
really?
with. Yeah, he's totally scared of clowns. But
There
Paddy,
was a part in the episode when Zach wanted to leave, and they say, "Hey, look, we got a lockdown we got to do." So they go back to the car, and Zach's like, let's get the hell out of here. And he doesn't realize, he looks to the side of the driver's seat, and either Nick or Aaron, they put one of the clowns in his car. He's screaming, jumped out of the car. It's on YouTube. You got to check it out if you haven't seen it.
Tina's scared of clowns. She hates clown. She's totally scared of them, and I have to help her to come against that fear. But I tell you what. Now I'm friends with what's her name, Paddy, from the second medium, Paddy from Coast Adventures. Absolutely down to earth, right last year's, and she'll tell you anything she wants, but I'm just saying it for a reason, because she is really good at her job. I gotta admit, as a spiritualist, I don't know where I'm going. I lost myself now because I'm so hyper. People are saying, Drew, stop messing this up, for God's sake, like, you're a mess.
That was
I'm
an
just
amazing
hyper.
live, though, in all fairness. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so are you planning to get some more new equipment? Are you planning to do more bigger hotels hunting? Because for your experience as from 15 years, it's like, did you play with a lot of tools, or did you play with this as you got older? Did you decide to muck about to making your own stuff or create your own stuff, or did you decide to go and actually work with others to help yourself on that line as well? It's, it's so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much
yeah.
information people want. Did you see a ghost? Did you actually see a ghost? But then obviously, yeah, of course we did. We got our own evidence. So, but you want to know more. You want to know more, and that's how much I enjoy it.
Well, it's interesting because it's almost like over these 12 years, I had to basically work my way up the ranks to get to that type of stage. So I didn't start off with the tools immediately, because obviously like anything, if you want to learn something, you gotta watch some shows, read some books, look up the internet, even watch some of the movies, and that's kind of how I got started. But in fact, I didn't even start using tools till probably I was about, by the time I was in high school. So that was when, and that was the only type of equipment that was available, at that time. Everything else was just damn expensive back then. Now everything you can get for like cheap price. Not except for maybe like SLS. I know that's still expensive as hell, but I do have plans for some more equipment that I'm going to be buying at some point. I'm actually trying to get I haven't been able to get like an actual video camera just yet, but I was able to find a type of video camera where it's HD, it's night vision, it's available on Amazon. It's something I don't want to say anything just yet, saying, I'd highly recommend it because I want to see if it works out really well at first. It also is infrared, but when you look at cameras like this, usually they're about $500 or more. This one I was able to find only able to find about $200, and that's relatively cheap for a camera of that type.
I was just going to say that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm hoping. Well, I was going to purchase it, though. My mom told me that, Christmas is not too far away, so she'll probably just get it for me as a Christmas present. But there's a few other pieces of equipment that I'm trying to get. They're definitely more, I guess, in other words, they're not really expensive, but if you get it all together, then yeah, it's going to be a hell of expensive, stuff that you're getting then.
Oh, yeah. Like, I've come across a paranormal store before, but I think it's in the US. I think it's called ghoststop.com.
Yep, I've shopped there a couple times. The last thing I recently got there, and I should also recommend this to you guys. If you guys plan on, ordering anything from Ghost Stop, I would say definitely with Black Friday coming up, they really do cut the prices in half. Like the last thing I got was it's actually pretty cool. I should have brought it with me up here, but it's a type of watch, but it's not just your typical, watch that tells time. It has a recorder embedded in it. It's got music on it, and it's expensive. It's about at least $100, but when I bought it, on one of their sales, it was only probably about like $60. So it's really not that terribly expensive, but it just goes to show that they do cut the prices in half depending on what you're trying to look for.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I had a watch like that. I had a watch literally like that. I had a big watch and it had a camera built in, built into the watch, and it played a lot of stuff.
And the watch too, it has a way you can connect it to your computer too, so that way you could transfer it from your watch to the computer. So, and it sounds pretty clear when I recorded it a couple of times.
Well, when I worked in follow through for the private ambulance, we used to use a recorder pen. We actually used to use the pens where it records our information and have like a little camera on the pen just to protect us if anything kicks off. So we usually got it on there. Even our camera body cams, we used to go on there and literally just put it on there, and it's pretty freaking cool. I did not swear, I said freaking just by the way as well. We're trying to keep this.
This is something I just want to say this really quickly because since Tom Nally has been watching, he always does this a lot, but I think he'll want me to say he does a channel of his own on YouTube.
What's his channel?
Go to, as he would always say, youtube.com/this is Tom's world. Yeah, I've always seen it a few times. Just him checking out locations and stuff. If he's still watching, he could probably explain it more. But yes, youtube.com/this is Tom's world.
Okay, so thank you for coming on, Kirsty. Thank you for doing that. Dude, we are coming up to our last final minute. We always go for an hour because we were a little bit late. We always go past our minute. So before we do, read Tom's message, buddy, because Tom has now said something for you.
Well, let's see here. What was that? Oh, Selma Mansion. I've heard of this place. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet. Of his show, so I'll have to check it out. Sounds really, I've heard of Selma Mansion.
Definitely go and check out this guy, Tom. We'll have him on the show next time, I think. Tom, you have to add me, mate.
Yeah, be careful. He can be kind of a little bit of troublemaking.
No, that's okay. We'll just bring you on. We just bring you on when he's on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's find out where you can find Nick. And let's make sure, Nick, tell everyone where you're going, bro. Tell everyone where they can find you and What else?
Well, I do have Twitter. Of course, I have YouTube, but the most active I'm on is on Facebook, obviously. So you can find me on Facebook, as it says in my name, Nick Muley. I also run a group that's called Nick's Paranormal Force, which is kind of like the headquarters of our team, Illinois Paranormal Force, and the smaller groups that work for us. Originally, it was only intended just for us, but now we just decided to open it up publicly. So yeah, you can find me either on my personal profile or my group page, Nick's Paranormal Force.
Awesome.
Okay, so that's where you can find it. Now, guys, it's 9:03 p.m. in the United Kingdom. Well, you know what it is. It's bedtime, and obviously I got a little one. So lucky enough, we've got a spare cot in the living room. But little man now needs his actual bed. And I am in the bedroom where I do most of my work, on my magical desk, as we call it. But guys, it's been great and pleasure having Nicky on for tonight. He is an absolutely fabulous guy and a right laugh. Me and Nick will chat a lot more. We do chat quite a lot. And he is a brilliant, absolutely superstar at what he does. 15 years of experience and still learning. Don't ever be lead out. You can't do it, because you can always do it. Can you, Nick?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I just realized before we go, do you want me to show the full vest quickly? I just realized I haven't shown it.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay, I might have to stand up. I'm gonna have to stand up for this because you won't get a very clear view. So here's the front of it. This is the actual full front, and then I'll show you the back. Sorry, damn it, the camera's frozen. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is the actual full front of it. So it has all these different cryptids, paranormal logos. And now, of course, here's the back, the main source of attention. Oops.
That's Skull and Crossbones, dude. That's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
That's something, bro. That is something. I might have to get a jacket like that now.
I've had people ask me to make patches like that and vests, so I could sell, but I have to keep reminding people these aren't my patches that I made except for the rockers. So in other words, and it's funny you mentioned about do I plan on creating anything. Obviously I did. This is obviously the only type of vest that exists that, as far as I know, no one else has.
Wow. So that's definitely going to be 1 in a million for the future. Okay, so Tom just said something. Oh, he has no idea
what's in store for. Yeah, I've learned that the hard way. He and I have been on a show called, I think you once watched it, Drew, Talk with Teddy, which it's not really a paranormal show. It's more of a variety show. They do sometimes talk about paranormal stuff, but he sometimes what Teddy does, he does this guessing game that me and Tom have been a part of. So, yeah, we kind of have a fun time. Me and Tom kind of have a fun time together.
It's the same. It's like the same with our game now, because we're going to have you back on for this game, because I was going to do this game tonight, but it's a really cool game. I'll explain to you next time when we chat. But again, thank you for coming on, brother. Big again, thank you.
Absolutely.
We're going to put you in the back.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We're going to put you in the backstage now.
I was going to say thank you guys so much for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, cheers for coming on, dude.
It's our pleasure. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
See you later, man. Put him in the backstage. Wow, Jamie, that was freaking awesome.
That was good. Yeah, that was good fun.
I enjoyed that fun. I really have enjoyed that fun tonight. That was a right giggle, I got him in. That was actually better than what I expected, and that was sick. That was sick. That's why I was like, whoa, okay. So, guys, it's like this all the time. Different interviews with paranormal investigators, spiritualists, and also even movie actors and wannabe actors. It's really important you guys get this sort of stuff in for an entertainment. We have got a mixture of stuff going on. We got Jamie doing Des. We got me doing Des. We got a lot of things coming up. We got a lot of interviews being booked in for the next month or two. Everyone is asking for DTV again. As I've come out of my shadow, with Jamie and with a few others behind me. And that's what's happening. We come back and we come rising, and we are full on steam. We got a few other challenges coming up very soon. We've got a new game to create with you guys as audience. If you want a bit of a giggle, it could get lately. So when I mean lately, it means literally, okay? All right, don't take the mic out of my speaking. But it's like the whole point of having a bit of fun. DTV is not about drama. It's not about you selfish. And it's not about anything. It's about having fun because it's an entertainment. It's like you watch Homer Simpson and you watch Family Guy. Yeah, definitely Family Guy. I know who that looks like. Make sure you guys check out the Paranormal Investigation. The Paranormal Postmortem is still running up and going. It's still doing great. I put on one of my old favorite videos of location, Naboth Castle. Naboth Castle, the manual investigation. We had people pulling us down from left and right, and we're still up and running. We're still going, and we like to go that way. We like to make sure we don't like to work with egos. We want this to aim for the future of entertainment and fun. Paranormal Postmortem has been doing really well with Jamie as well on his side as deaf researcher at Paranormal. Okay, we're working really well with them. We got some other teams. But like you said, we're back and we're having fun. We ain't going to let no one destroy us, and we're going to have a good future fun. So please be prepared for all the funs and experience you got. And be prepared for all the silly stuff we do, okay? Be prepared for it. All right, guys and gentlemen.
Either be prepared for the entertainment or be prepared for one of our funerals. It's going to be one or the other, okay?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely, I agree. All right, dude. Shall we end this live?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Drew, and I'm going to see you next time on YouTube and Twitch and also on Facebook. Don't forget, guys, be DTV's Army people. See you soon.
Yeah, and I'm Jamie, and I'll see you all guys soon. Take care.
Oh, dude, you could have done that.